And finally, monarchy news. You all knew this was coming, and if the monarchy is your bag, then call it an episode and get on out of here. Don't forget to come. Keep an eye out for me at the festivals. I'm looking to bring some shows around soon, and hopefully next year will be a big one for touring. So if you don't want to hear about the monarchy, you can go. But those with stronger constitutions, welcome to the rest of the show. Now, while technically this is not Australia, the monarchs are our head of state, and given the news has been flooded with almost constant coverage of the funeral and mourning period of the Queen, we will also have a break in regular transmission to cover the Queen's death. Queen Elizabeth II, the world's longest reigning monarch, the world's former longest reigning monarch, corgi enthusiast, and one of a long line of cultural Highlanders. You know, they walk into a place, they see a culture, and declare, "There can be only one!" has died after 70 years in the same job. A shining example to millennials why it's impossible to move up the jobs ladder, as the cost of living crisis has forced older generations to hold on to those coveted full-time jobs. Immediately after the death was announced, the BBC started round-the-clock coverage of everything even remotely related to the former monarch turned lead-plated fertiliser. Did you speak to someone who saw the Queen once? We want to hear from you. Anecdotes, anecdotes, anecdotes. All news must go! We've got body language experts, with royal experts, corgi experts, all our experts are standing by and waiting to give you commentary. Are they questionable? You betcha! What about landmarks? You want people standing in front of landmarks? We got them! It's a landmarks bonanza! However, despite being fans of the royals, fans of The Crown are furious that the BBC's 24-hour coverage has spoiled the big surprise ending of Season 6 of the Netflix production. As Netflix rarely makes anything go for more than 6 seasons, it was gonna have to be the big ending. With the Queen dead, it is time for reflections from colonies, former and current, as we think about our place in the world, our relationship with the monarchy, and the troubled history it brought across the ocean, along with bread thieves and other undesirables. Australians now need to wrestle with their country's stance in the Commonwealth and who they'd like to see as their head of state. With the death of Queen Liz, Australia is now halfway to making a proper run for freedom. We just need to wait for Rupert Murdoch to die so that we can fully take back control of the country. The UK has entered an official mourning period, with many businesses taking time off so citizens can mourn the loss of wages and struggle to pay their rent and bills more than they usually do. It's the way to make even more staunchly anti-monarchists upset for a few days. Australian Parliament has shut down for 15 days and Anthony Albanese made his way over to London to partake in the mourning ceremonies, give his condolences and check to make sure that the Queen is actually dead before we change all the money. Upon receiving confirmation the Queen is in fact dead, workers in Australia prepared to take 15 days off to mourn that Charles is now officially king. As is tradition, new Australian coins and a new $5 note will need to be minted to represent the change in monarch. The new coins will differ from the previous coins, where monarchs' faces will alternate from facing to left to right with the changing monarch. Instead, the new coins will depict different acts that the monarchs have covered up in their years of power. Atrocity samples currently being floated are Edward VIII and Wallace Simpson hanging out with Adolf Hitler of mass murder fame, Queen Elizabeth II's offshore $1 million tax haven in the Cayman Islands, that and the fact that her and Philip were cousins, the mass grave of corgis in the backyard of Balmoral that she was preparing to raise from the grave upon turning 100 to rule as Dark Queen of the Night for eternity, the specific experiments done on Prince Andrew to stop him from sweating, collecting foreign jewels to grow your ability to focus and enhance the necromantic arts, King James VI setting up the Royal African Company, and Prince Rupert being founding shareholders. Those are companies that eventually would sell a lot of slaves. Secretly vetting over 1,000 pieces of legislation before they came to Parliament, and even vetoing a few of them because they didn't benefit you. Running a royal family breeding farm. And everyone's favourite cover-up, murdering Princess Diana. Australians will also anxiously await to see if the new $5 note will actually be able to be folded into anything rude, like the previous $5 note. And as a final act of respect to the Queen, Victorian Premier Dan Andrews has vowed to change the Indigenous name of the Maroondah Hospital to honour the late Queen Elizabeth II, should Labor return to office in November state election. Despite the backlash to the decision, Dan Andrews has doubled down on his decision, not only standing firm on the change, but also vowing to change the Victorian Acknowledgement of Country to acknowledge what he is calling the real traditional owner, Queen Elizabeth II.